Hello viewers, my name is Chase Clover, and this is my preview and predictions of USW No Remorse 2014. This pay-per-view goes live on the organization's website on May 4th, 2014. That is a Sunday. Let me just first off get into the kickoff match, otherwise known as the developmental match. Titanfall versus D-Dog. What is wrong about this match is that Titanfall is not a kickoff match worthy competitor. He is a main card performer. He's not worthy to be in the kickoff match. He's worthy to be in maybe the third or fourth match. Is a match like that, a match of that caliber, not a kickoff match. D-Dog, on the other hand, is worthy of a kickoff match, if even not to be on the card at all. D-Dog is not a competitor in USW that is a major threat to anyone or a major performer whatsoever. I don't think he has the skill to wrestle the way that USW wrestles at their caliber. So you can hear by the sound of my voice that, and by what I'm saying, that I think Titanfall is going to defeat D-Dog. What I think USW can do better is to use Titanfall more often, put him on USW Wednesday Night Intensity, not as a person to face the top guys, to fill up another opponent's shoes, but use him on television, put him in a rivalry. Use D-Dog less, because D-Dog is not someone who is a major threat to anyone. He is not a great performer. He doesn't have too much potential, and I don't see D-Dog being a big competitor in USW in any time in the near future. I think Titanfall is going to defeat D-Dog, and Titanfall should be used more often. D-Dog should be used less often. The next match is the first Bulletproof Series match in USW. The Bulletproof Series match is pretty much like the TNA Bound for Glory series. It's pretty much, and it hasn't been held since 2012, when USW went out of, or disbanded. It hasn't been used since, and the Bulletproof Series is a big source of revenue for USW. They make merchandise without even having the fans know about it. The fan base has no clue how much money they earn at all whatsoever because of the Bulletproof Series. But the first Bulletproof Series match in USW history will be the second match on the match card. It'll be Gringo versus Amor. Alright, here's what the problem with this match is. Gringo and Fernandez are the unified USW Tag Team Champions, which entitles that they have to defend the unified USW Tag Team Championships. Well, here's the problem. Once you're in the Bulletproof Series, until you are eliminated, you cannot face any other person unless they are in the Bulletproof Series. So, Gringo, here are the people that are in the Bulletproof Series. Now, bear with me, it's kind of a long list. Alright. Here's who are in the match, the Bulletproof Series. Gringo, Amor, Greyhound, Dwayne Porter, Philip Akron, Prophecy, Rush, DHIG, Tom and Chris Ross, and Cannon. Those are the people that are in the Bulletproof Series. Now here's what my problem is. Gringo and Fernandez are both in the Bulletproof Series. They are both the unified USW Tag Team Champions. They cannot defend the titles unless they're defending it against people in the Bulletproof Series, which means you're not going to see those championships being defended anytime soon. So I guess you could have USW script a scenario where they are stripped of the titles because they can't defend the championship the championships for many months, possibly unless USW changes their scheme, which it's been rumored that they will. They won't be able to defend the championships until November of 2014. This right now, we're in May 2014. We have... Let me count again. We have 6 months, which is half a year, until they can defend the unified USW Tag Team Championships again. Which means it's unfair to the tag teams in there. The tag team division. And, yeah, I mean, there is a problem with the tag team division, being that, there isn't really a lot of teams left that are considered tag teams, because... apparently, you have Switchblade and Blade, arguably the best tag team in USW history. They've disbanded pretty much. Then who else? You have the Martin Brothers. They've disbanded. You have Benny Franklin and Ezra Hills. They're still around. CED and ED, they're still around. You also have, who else? Fernandez and Gringo. You have them still around. I mean... Dwayne Porter and Dustin Raymond disbanded a while back. Philip Akron and Benny Franklin disbanded a while back. Titanfall and Amor disbanded a while back. Anarchy and Ash got into a rivalry and disbanded. So you have no tag teams really on your match card unless you're going to put some on that can actually contend for the unified USW Tag Team Championships. You have no tag teams to contend with the tag team champions, or to be the tag team champions. You have a TNA caliber tag team roster with only pretty much 2 tag teams in that division of wherever, and we only have like maybe 3 or 4 tag teams right now in USW, possibly 3 by the end of the time, by the end of the month maybe. And you've got another scenario with TNA. Their tag team division is a sinking ship, just as much as TNA itself is a sinking ship. It's just going downhill, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were to end up selling those title belts on eBay to get a few bucks off them, because they're not going to be using them for a while. So, I don't see what you can do with Gringo and Fernandez, so why not put them in the Bulletproof Series match? Maybe you got lucky, maybe you saved your tag team division for a while, maybe you have time to develop another tag team roster, or tag team division. And then with Amor, he's not worthy of anything, really, pay-per-view wise. I mean, Amor, you placed him in a match, you made him tag up with Fernandez, Gringo, and Greyhound, to defeat 2 tag teams and knock them out of the Bulletproof Series. You had them beat CED, ED, and Ezra Hills and Benny Franklin, pretty much the only 2 tag teams that are not the champions. And Amor does not have potential at all. That brings me back to the tag team division. They have a struggling tag team division. This may have been a coincidence to help USW improve the tag team division. But until then, I don't see those tag team championships being worthy or worth anything to USW. And the matches they have, they're only for maybe 10 minutes at most, because the tag team division cannot contend with anything USW related. So there's a lot of things wrong with this match and with this series, but there are some bright sides, like helping at the tag team division. But in my perspective, Gringo's gonna defeat Amor. Alright, next match. Lane versus Ash. This is pretty much the only filler match on the card. There is no backstory whatsoever to this match. Whatsoever. Ash, since breaking Anarchy's jaw in the Blue Belt Championship match on Wednesday Night Intensity, maybe a month and a few weeks ago, maybe 6 or 7 weeks ago, breaking his jaw in like 25 places, he's been going downhill. I mean, I think he was put in the Blue Belt Championship tournament qualifying, but I don't think he won. Did he? No. Because guess what? Prophecy, Rain, Chain Reaction, and James were the ones in the Bulletproof series. So, I mean, the Blue Belt Championship tournament. So Ash didn't win, and now he's been going downhill. His career in USW has been spiraling downhill, along with Lane. Lane, I believe, had one of the best kickoff matches in all of USW. Against, I think, Greyhound. I think it was Greyhound versus Lane, if I'm not mistaken. Or it could have been Lone Wolf. I don't know. But you have these two competitors that are spiraling downhill. It doesn't matter whoever will win, because it won't do anything for their careers, for their scripts, as in scripted scenarios that USW does so often. This won't hurt or help their careers. Every filler match is just like that. It won't help or hurt these two competitors whatsoever. But in my mind, I see Ash defeating Lane. But it really won't make a difference, because Ash and Lane, there's nothing that will hurt their careers within this match whatsoever. The next match is the fourth match on the card. It is the second Bulletproof Series match of the night. Greyhound versus Dwayne Porter. As I said before, or mentioned before, Greyhound was teaming with Amor, Ringo, and Fernandez, and they beat CED, ED, Ezrank Hills, and Benny Franklin to qualify for this Bulletproof Series. Now, with Dwayne Porter, he defeated Dustin Raymond in a singles match, and I think it was the only match involving only two competitors in the entire qualifying or qualification series of events. Dwayne Porter has been on a roll, and Greyhound has been doing well for himself as well. Greyhound is very skilled. He's very, I don't want to say fragile, but he's very sensitive with high risk moves, maybe dives as well. Dwayne Porter, he's very strong. He's a good high flyer. He's very athletic. Greyhound's got an athletic powerhouse side to him. This match is a good match to have on the Bulletproof series, and on the match card. This match, not going to be as good as Yo-Yo Joe and Dwayne Porter at USW Call to Greatness 9, but it will be a very good match, and both these competitors are being used very well in USW, and both these competitors are having a good career with USW so far. Greyhound's doing very well for himself. Dwayne Porter's doing even better, which is why I'm going to choose Dwayne Porter to defeat Greyhound, because I feel that Dwayne Porter has too much skill to allow Greyhound too many easy maneuvers on him. I think Greyhound will have a very hard time containing Dwayne Porter, and if Greyhound wins, then I guess he deserves it, and I guess he's got a lot of skill, and he'll prove me wrong, but I think Dwayne Porter's going to defeat Greyhound. I think Dwayne Porter has too much skill for Greyhound to contend with. The next match is the fifth match on the card, and it is a no disqualification rules Extreme Championship match. MC4, the champion, defending against Crimson Red. The first championship match of the night. I think there are 4 championship matches on the night. Crimson Red and MC4 have had a rivalry, somewhat. They have not been used on USW Wednesday Night Intensity. They have not had any scripted scenarios, maybe 1 or 2 in the entire rivalry. The only thing that is in between their rivalry, which is something also on the USW Remorse 2014 Wikipedia page, is that the Extreme Championship is in between their rivalry. It's spreading these two competitors farther away from each other, and it's the only thing in the middle. That's what they're fighting for. That's kind of like USW's kind of being lazy and not scripting anything for these two. It's kind of like the creative team is just like, well, they have a championship in the middle, they have a rivalry, they're on every pay-per-view, the crowd seems to get some enjoyment. I guess it also gets, to be, a bathroom break kind of match, like, oh, this match is on, bathroom break. why not keep it on? It's a great match to fill up the card, and it's also got somewhat of a rivalry on it. Let's keep it. No, you have to put some script into this, especially on your weekly flagship show, Intensity, every week, every Wednesday. You have to have a script, of somewhat, a scenario, maybe even a scene. Something that will give these two competitors hype going into the pay-per-view. You have to have hype for every single match, except for the filler matches. Those don't have to have as much hype as every other match that is really, really being used, as a non-filler match and as a match that could turn into a rivalry. And even if it has maybe a stipulation to it. I mean, just because the Extreme Championship always has to have no disqualification involving it, no countouts, it's still not something worthy enough to come between a rivalry, especially considering the Extreme Championship is not a championship that's worthy in USW. This championship is the youngest championship introduced to USW. I mean, the Glory Belt, which was the championship that is now defunct, but was before the Extreme Championship, without anybody holding the championship. Nobody ever held a championship. That's more important than this championship. This Extreme Championship is nothing like the WOW Extreme Championship. This doesn't have Zach Hardy and Majagata and Cannon fighting for it in a triple threat every single pay-per-view for that championship. That championship was worthy enough to come in between a rivalry. This championship is not. There are two differences between the WOW Extreme Championship or the WOW Extreme Championship and the USW Extreme Championship. Those are two different championships. Just because it has the same name doesn't mean that the championship has to be as good as the other one. It's not nearly even close to being as good as the other one. I mean, with the Extreme Championship, MC4 could be 23-time champion like Zach Hardy, but guess what? That won't make a difference compared to Zach Hardy's 23-time Extreme Championship reigns. I mean, come on, this championship is not worthy to be in the middle of a rivalry. And, I mean, the worst part is, they don't even care. They're not caring enough to put any scenes and any hype into this match, which is sad. This is sad, it's very sad for USW, and it's hurting their performances with the performers and with their pay-per-views. So there are a lot of things wrong with this pay-per-view, and I'm getting into them all in this video, but this is just, it cannot go on like this. This pay-per-view needs to have hype, and every single pay-per-view after this does as well. It cannot stop having hype. They are probably not going to care enough to put a script or a scenario or a scene in any Wednesday Night Intensity editions to put in hype for the pay-per-view, which is sad. So I believe this Extreme Championship is going to be defunct within a few months. But my prediction, Crimson Red's going to defeat MC4. That's plain and simple. These two need to have more airtime. Especially MC4, who when he was out with airtime and was defending the Extreme Championship, Mr. Undefeated when it comes to championship defenses. That's what his nickname was, or that's what he proclaimed himself to be. He's not getting any airtime compared to maybe every 2 or 3 weeks when he used to be the Mr. Undefeated in championship reign or in championship defenses. Come on. And Crimson Red, former Blue Belt champion, former Extreme champion, one-time Blue Belt champion, two-time Extreme champion. He's not getting airtime on Wednesday Night Intensity as well. USW needs to do something pronto about this. And they've got a few weeks left until the next pay-per-view. I think it was USW Tap Out. But yeah, Crimson Red's going to defeat MC4. And I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have any hype to the next pay-per-view for this match. But I know they're going to have another match with this championship on the line at Tap Out. The sixth match on the card is the third Bulletproof Series match of the night. Philip Akron versus Prophecy. Alright. Problems already with this match. Philip Akron, no hype to him whatsoever on any intensity showing. Not as much as Crimson Red and MC4. That's the biggest example of lack of airtime. Philip Akron's been going on Wednesday Night Intensity maybe 3 or 4 times every 3 or 4 weeks. And Prophecy has, he was in the the Blue Belt Championship tournament. Now he's in the Bulletproof Series. I think Prophecy is going to go a long way. I mean, Prophecy, he was also the winner of the 2013 20-man gauntlet match. Prophecy is doing very well for himself. Philip Akron's not, he's doing somewhat well for himself, but he hasn't had any chance to do very well for himself. I mean, USW, just like WWE, proclaims that they're trying to make young stars, just young talent that, not older, more like crippled people. With WWE, they use John Cena, who's almost 40. And, I mean, you have people in NXT with WWE, Sorry, capture broke again. But Philip Akron hasn't gotten enough airtime to show that he has improved. He hasn't gotten enough airtime to improve. Prophecy has, and he has improved because of it. Philip Akron hasn't gotten any opportunities, so Prophecy is going to defeat Philip Akron. The next match on the card is the 7th match, and it is Alex Martin versus George Martin in a loser leaves USW match. Not much to say about this match. Alex Martin, George Martin, brothers in real life, had a scripted, I guess, breakup at USW Steel Purgatory 2014, and then fighting ever since. And now it's expected that they would have this kind of match. Not, I guess it was gonna happen sooner or later. I thought it would have happened sooner than this, but. Alex Martin and George Martin, Alex Martin's a bigger talent than George Martin, so if George Martin were to win, I can guarantee you that Alex Martin would come right back to USW. He'd be right back. He'd be in the palm of their hand. No, they'd be in the palm of his hand. He is a Zach Hardy rising potential from WOW in USW now. Alex Martin is the Zach Hardy of USW. Zach Hardy ranked up in WOW. Alex Martin is ranking up in USW. Zach Hardy's left his mark. Alex Martin's trying to make his. And he's getting some opportunities too. This match has been hyped up for a while. This is a good selection of a match by USW. And I feel like Alex Martin's going to win. He's got a lot more talent, and I don't think USW, even if he lost, would let him go. They're in the palm of his hand. Next match is the 8th match on the card, and is the 4th Bulletproof Series match of the night. Rush vs. DHIG. Rush, not a good competitor. He is not getting hype. He's not. No matter how much hype they try to put into a match involving him, he wouldn't get any hype. That match, even if it were for the USW Championship, which it would never be, that match would never get any hype, no matter how hard it tried. It could be Zach Hardy versus Rush. It could be Margigeta versus Rush. Cannon versus Rush. Morbid versus Rush. No amount of hype could hype up, any match with Rush. He's not a competitor that you want to hype up. DHIG, on the other hand, he's a competitor who's ranking up. He's on his way to becoming a good competitor, a good performer, and I think DHIG has a lot of skill. He's gonna defeat Rush easily. DHIG is gonna defeat Rush easily. DHIG has a lot. So he has so much airtime, whether even if it's on Intensity or any of the house shows that they put on, occasionally. They could end up going down to one of these, arenas and booking it out for the night and having a house show, a small little house show off camera, which they do maybe every 4 or 5 weeks. DHIG has gotten enough time. He's gotten enough time on the microphone. DHIG is going to handle Rush no problem. Next match on the night is the 9th match. Oh, this match, I think it's going to be good. The Blue Belt Championship Triple Threat match. Freak Enigma defends the Blue Belt Championship against James and Chain Reaction. This match, this match can't even have hype. You can put it on Intensity. You can do whatever the hell you want with it. There's nothing that you can do to give it hype at this moment. Enigma debuted this past Sunday, which less than a week ago from when I'm airing this video. And he defeated James for the Blue Belt Championship in his debut in under a minute. And now he's defending against James and Chain Reaction. He intentionally disqualified himself, which you can't do in this triple threat match, but he intentionally disqualified himself to retain the Blue Belt Championship this past Wednesday on Intensity. And he defeated James. Well, James defeated Enigma, but he kept the Blue Belt title because he can't lose it by disqualification of Kano. So, and Enigma is a freak. People who step into the ring with him are petrified. He's a freak. How else am I going to put it? Enigma, he brings out whatever weapon he has. He's not like Abyss in TNA where he brings out a wooden 2x4 with nails in the top of it and calls it, I forgot what he calls it. But whatever. He brings out different things. Crowbar, chain link, freaking electric fly swatter for crying out loud. I mean, Enigma is a freak. Chain Reaction has never stepped foot in the ring with Enigma. James has. James has felt the frickin' punishment that Enigma has put on. James has a little backup now because he's not in the ring with Enigma alone. That's just like Rockstar Spud and Willow in TNA. Chain Reaction is on James' side for the current moment because you can't be on Enigma's side because Enigma's pretty much a neutral character. He's not a bad guy. He's not a good guy. He'll kick your ass in. He'll kick your teeth in. Stomp your face in. He won't give a damn. And then he'll do it to a bad guy. A good guy, and then to a bad guy. In my view, Enigma not going to lose the Blue Belt Championship. I think USW would script this match. But I think Enigma will defeat James in Chain Reaction. More than likely, he'll pin James and win. But I don't see him losing the championship. I don't see him being able to lose a championship. And the problem with this is, we don't know who the hell Enigma is. He could be somebody on the roster. He could be Derek Carter. Which, by the way, I'll tell you about his negotiations in the next video that I put out about him. But he could be anybody. We have no clue. He could be Ash or Anarchy, probably not Anarchy. He could be Derek Carter. He could be Prophecy. He could be Morbid, Dwayne Porter, Zach Hardy, Mashigeta, Gringo, Fernandez, Cannon, Chris Ross. He could be anybody. We have no clue. But he is a freak. He's a freak of nature, and he is just an absolute psycho. I don't think he's sane enough to be able to lose this match. Enigma's gonna win. Next match is the 10th match on the card, and it is the final Bulletproof Series match of the night. Tall Man Chris Ross and Cannon. Cannon, very good competitor. Tall Man Chris Ross, been going down moving down in the rankings. Yeah, the most USW World Heavyweight Championships won. Tall Man Chris Ross with 4 has been moving down in the ranks. And Cannon has all the potential to beat Chris Ross. Chris Ross is the only thing that he has is his height difference. That's it. Cannon can take you down easily. He can kick your legs down. He'll chop your legs off. He doesn't give a damn. He will do whatever the hell he wants when he wants. And he will kick your head in. And that's what he's going to do to Chris Ross. That's what he's going to do to Chris Ross. Cannon is going to defeat Chris Ross without a problem. Next match is the 11th match on the card. For the USW World Heavyweight Championship, Mashigeta defends once again against Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf put on a good match at Cold Greatness 9. Mashigeta did the same as well. The only difference is Mashigeta defeated Lone Wolf at Cold Greatness 9. I have no problem with that. The problem that I have right now is that you're going to have a repeat of a match that happened at Cold Greatness 9. That's pretty much just like even though it's probably not going to be better than Cold Greatness 9 because it's Cold Greatness 9 for goddammit. But Cold Greatness 9 was $59.99 to rent on pay-per-view. This is $29.99 to rent on pay-per-view. This is $30 less? So you're pretty much getting a match that if you were looking forward to this match at Cold Greatness 9, you're getting this match for $30 less. So, Mashigeta, absolute powerhouse, great high flyer, all-around presence in the ring. He's just dominant. Lone Wolf has a lot of work to do and a lot of catching up to do if he wants to be one of those major champions. But I don't see Lone Wolf coming on top against Mashigeta once again. I think Mashigeta will defend the championship and retain the championship against Lone Wolf, going into his, maybe 50 or 60th something day. He's held the championship since the beginning of March, so, and, that's what I had to say about this match. Not too much hype. Hadn't had too much hypes in, up to Call of Greatness 9. It only had maybe a week or two before Call of Greatness 9 that Lone Wolf kind of stepped into the picture. Lone Wolf actually earned the championship match at Call of Greatness 9 because he won the 20-man gauntlet match in 2014 to get a shot at any championship he wanted, whether it was a world title or the USW title. But Lone Wolf lost to Call of Greatness 9. He's going to lose at No Remorse 2014 just the same. Majageta, Decapitator, he's going to rip his head off. Next match is the 12th match on the match card, and it is, surprise, surprise, the main event. Zach Hardy is in the main event again. It's criminal. It's against the law. Illegal. Zach Hardy defends the USW Championship against Alexander Rotten. Okay, here's the problem that I have. USW, I'll direct this towards you. Alexander Rotten, physical, aggressive powerhouse. Not at your top of the list. He is not anywhere close to there. And you're putting him in a USW Championship match against arguably the best wrestler to ever wrestle in the world, Zach Hardy, who just came off a match at Call of Greatness 9, defeated Morbid to retain the title, came off a match to begin Intensity, said that there were so many people in line ahead of Alexander Rotten for a title shot. Alexander Rotten, even Zach Hardy, said, I'm not even sure if he shot that or not. But Alexander Rotten, Zach Hardy's right about something. He does not deserve a championship match at this point in his career. Alex Martin was pretty much handed the championship just because Zach Hardy wanted to get him the hell out of his promo. Zach Hardy had promised Western Light a championship match a few months ago, which I'm fine with. I'm perfectly fine with giving Western Light a championship match. He deserves it. Alexander Rotten, on the other hand, does not. He told everybody that Morbid deserved the title match. He got the title match, failed to defeat him. Said that Western Light would get the title match that night. Guess what? Zach Hardy defeated him. The only difference is that Alexander Rotten got off the stage. He got what he wanted. Good for him. Nobody else would have a scenario at No Remorse that, soon. Zach Hardy had to have somebody to defend the most worthwhile championship in USW against. So why not have it be someone who's just an all-out table wrestler? Only thing about him is physical, aggressive powerhouse, like moveset. My prediction, Zach Hardy's going to defeat Alexander Rotten. Maybe have a little bit of a problem, but I don't see that. I don't see Rotten winning. But anyways, that was my preview and predictions of USW No Remorse 2014 on Sunday, May 4th, 2014. Remember to like, favorite, and subscribe for more. I'm Chase Clover, signing off.